So we're now going to look at the CIE iGCSE Spanish roleplay. So you have 10 minutes to prepare in advance and you can write down the information that you want to take into the exam. And you get the scenario, and it's really, really important that you take into consideration the scenario in your preparation time. So it says here, estás en España, vas a ir al zoológico con tu amigo español, tu amiga española. Yo soy tu amiga or tu amigo, depending on what gender the person is who's doing your exam. So just from that understanding there, you're obviously understanding, hopefully, that you're going to go to the zoo with your Spanish friend. And then the person who's doing the exam for you is your Spanish friend. So already you should be preparing your brain for what sort of information you might be hearing in terms of asking questions and responding to questions about going to the zoo. So you're obviously going to be asked questions, so it's really, really important that you know all your key question words. So ¿qué is the first question that we've got in here, and it's ¿a qué hora abre el zoológico? Just think about what that means. So the verb abrir is to open. So it's what time does the zoo open? At what time opens the zoo, literally. And then you can use the question to help you form your answer. So you could then just therefore say, abre a las 8, abre a las 10. A nice simple answer, as long as you can give the information. You don't need to make it more complicated than it needs to be. You wouldn't get any more points for saying it opens at 11:15 than saying 11 o'clock. Okay. Then the next question word, ¿cómo? ¿Cómo? What does that mean? ¿Cómo means how. ¿Cómo vamos a ir? What does that mean? How would you respond to it? ¿Cómo vamos a ir? How are we going to go? How are we going to get there? So again, use the question to help you answer. Vamos a ir a pie. Vamos a ir en tren, en coche, en bici. Okay, all these different options would be fine. You don't need to give a huge amount of information as long as you've understood what's being asked of you. Vamos a hacer un picnic. ¿Qué te gustaría comer y beber? So obviously un picnic is a picnic. ¿Qué te gustaría comer y beber? What does that mean? We're going to have a picnic. What would you like to eat and drink? Okay, so again, it doesn't need to be really, really complex. And then again, use the question to help you with your answer. So therefore, me gustaría comer bocadillos, pan, queso. Y me gustaría beber Coca-Cola, agua, limonada. Okay? Whatever comes into your head, that's going to be correct. It doesn't need to be really, really complex. Now here comes the different tense. So the first variation is la última vez. So this word última or último is last. So which tense is that going to be referring to? La última vez que fuiste al zoológico, ¿qué viste? What's that asking you? And how would you answer? And again, don't fall into the trap of using viste to answer your question, because that means you saw. So you don't want to say viste in answer to your question because you're saying you saw. How would you say I saw? You would say vi. Okay, so you might say, for example, vi unas pandas, vi un león. Vi una jirafa. Okay? Different animals that you might have seen in the zoo. And that's the past tense. ¿Y qué hiciste? What does that mean? So what did you do? ¿Qué hiciste? What did you do? So you might say, for example, I ate and drank something. You might have seen something. You might have visited the section with the fish. So you could say, for example, visité, vi, hice, and then whatever you might think that might be. So visité la parte con peces. Visité el parque en el zoológico. And then the next section with the different tense. ¿Qué vamos a hacer después? What tense is this going to be in? So yes, this is the future. What are we going to do afterwards? So you might say that you're going to go to the cinema, that you're going to go to a restaurant, that you're going to go home. Okay, how would you say those things? So you might say, vamos a comer en un restaurante. Vamos a ir al cine. And then you've got this question, y después, and afterwards. How do you answer that? So you might therefore say, voy a volver a casa. Voy a ir a la cama. I'm going to go to bed. Okay? It's just making sure that you've got the past tense here and the future tense here. And that's in these questions 4 and 5 in the role play for iGCSE. That's where the different tenses come in. So they can be the other way around. 4 could be future, 5 could be past, and vice versa. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Any issues, any questions? And obviously after this role play, you would have 2 then topic choices, 2 then conversation topics that you would need to have a conversation with your examiner. Okay, any questions, any comments, please feel free to message them to me. Adios.